Okay, we got an unboxing for a set called the NF Audio NE4 Evolution. I just did a video for one of their other sets on my main channel. If you didn't see that, you might want to go check that out. It was kind of brutal. It's a fairly large box. I think it's a 4BA set, which you might think that's not really much. There's a lot of good sets. I think the Symphonium Audio Helios is 4BA, so don't get into the driver count is like money. It's nice to have more. Doesn't really change a whole lot, actually. The box is really nice. That looks sharp. This looks like a premium set. I think this is like $450. So yeah, comment below this video because this is just under what I would give to bidders on Patreon. A little bit more and it would be something that would go to them. If you're a Patreon and you're watching this, the bids are about to close in a couple hours. So if you bid on something and you're the top bidder, you're going to get it. And also thank you for your support. So it's 4BA. Hold on a second before we continue. I'm wondering, does it mention the balance temperatures that are within? 4 Knowles BAs. Okay, so all of the balance temperatures are branded. They're not custom. Trust us, bro. They're not Belsing or anything else. We put work into this, but we're not going to tell you what it is. We're not going to tell you the white papers. We're not going to really do anything. You have no idea what the QC or QAs are in place to assure that you get something consistent and of high quality. Trust us, bro. This set is at least using a known brand. So we flip this open. It's got a magnet in it right here. And we've got NE Evolution. Okay. Okay, I guess this is stuck to this because it doesn't. That's interesting. Unless that's just totally heat, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's, no, it's actually glued. So this is connected. I'm gonna leave it like that because someone else is gonna get this. Now, again, let's go ahead and open the top. I remember now. I remember a couple years ago, or 2 or 3 years ago, I think they were the first one that did this kind of disc thing. But the disc actually came out. It wasn't a real disc that you could play, but it would come out. And this... Okay. Now remember, when you have something like this, push it from the back side. You don't want to put pressure on the nozzles, really. And it seems like, well, you're doing that now. Actually, when you yank and pull on these, like I'm kind of doing right now, you're putting more pressure directly on the nozzle, potentially, by leaning it in one direction or the other. So just backing this out is important. And there, I backed one out. I don't think I'm going to even pull. That one's almost out. Okay, there we go. So they are quite heavy. Not quite heavy, but they're fairly heavy. Let's go ahead and check out how heavy are they, bro. $10 grams. 10 grams. Okay. Turn that off. So they are substantial. They're metal build. These caps, I believe, by looking at these contacts, that these are crossovers, basically. These are little crossover networks in the caps. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. And by changing these, oh, it's also got an extended 2-pin. So it's like a QDC with the shroud. You can put a regular 2-pin into it, but you're getting, that's getting a little bit fragile. But it looks like a regular 2-pin. I think somebody or a couple people have already done videos about how to remove these caps. I'm not sure if I'm going to quite get into that. So those are the caps, and this is the part, mainly that screw, and then I believe maybe over here you can pop it open. Again, I'm not going to do that. Let me put that down. And then you get the other tunings, and you get them in the form of these caps, which they don't have drivers in them, and they don't have much else. So what they probably have is a crossover network. So by changing this, you do two things. You change the color, which is kind of cool. And again, I'm not going to do this right now, but it would be a red capped set instead of the black, and you would also be altering the tuning. I think it's a brilliant idea. I've already seen graphs online. I think let me put that down. I think the idea was better than the execution, and that happens a lot in Chi-Fi. It happens in other regions as well. This isn't like a China specific thing where everybody does good stuff, but the Chinese just seem to screw it up. That's not the case really at all. That's a beautiful blue, by the way. So you got a blue, you've got a red, and then you've got the stock. So you've got three alternate tunings, or you've got two alternates to the original, and this was also sent, which is this is like something that, let's say the battery for my Edifier remote puck went out. I would go buy a battery that would come in something just like this, like the same exact size and everything. Pull it off of a rack at a convenience store. Except this is a new tuning. Except it's kind of really not so much different, which is the frustration of this set that I'll explain in the review. That looks really cool. So you've got the stock tuning, you've got the red and the blue cap tuning, and now you've got another one where you can see inside, and this is in fact a crossover network. It's basically what that is. The way that they're not really doing much with the bass, I know it's 4BA, but one of those BAs should be really dedicated to the low end. I don't know where the crossovers. I assume if I look at it and play with it, I could figure it out quite easily. So you've got these. This is the hook. This is the reason that you might consider buying this, because instead of a removable nozzle or dip switches, oh, these caps are really cool. And they are, in fact, a clever idea. We've got silicone tips that are, these are called balanced and atmosphere. Okay. And then you've got a cable that is not of the quality of the price if this is in fact in the $400 to $500 range. This is a budget set cable. So this doesn't match. So the main idea and the hook for you is pretty dope and seems to be worth getting up into that price range, but the cable looks like an afterthought. There are better cables with stuff that cost $50. That's a poor cable. This is a very, NF Audio's been using this case for a long time. There's nothing in it at this point. And then on this we've got and inside this you've got, as you can see, a very small screwdriver with very teeny screws. So this is how you remove these plates. Let me put this on my hand again. I love this blue, by the way. So to remove this, the main way, there's I think a lip over here too, is this little screw and this screwdriver right here. You've got to be very careful and don't do it on like plush carpeting or something, or even on a floor and all you hear is a and then you can't find the thing. So it looks cool, and if they had, I'll get into this in the video. This is something that you should pay attention. There's also a 1/4 inch. I'm not sure what these tips are because I'm not gonna, I guess I will if this is not too stick. That down. What is that? Okay. And a stereo plug. Not really sure why those two things are separated. Put that down there. So this is the NE4 Evolution. It's a 4-balanced armature. It's, I believe, between $400 and $500. It has a very unique tuning system that is using the outer plate as a crossover network that you can change from the stock, which is this one, to this one, or to this one, or to the clear one that I showed you that comes in a package, kind of like a battery or something that you would buy off the rack at a convenience store. Now you can go ahead and check on Squiglinks and type in NE4 and see what these do. And then I'm gonna decide between now and some point whether or not I'm actually going to do a video for it. I think I probably will, because this is a good example of a bunch of energy put into stuff and seemingly no energy put into other stuff, where all of those things combined equal a good product and potentially big money maker. This is really going in that direction until we hit the cable, which, without knowing the tuning or anything about the caps, you would think this is okay. This seems like an afterthought. That would be an indication of what's coming later, and that would be borne out when you start to listen to it, and then you start to say, I actually don't like that, and let me try this cap switch, and then start to realize that it wasn't just the cable where they kind of let go of the rope. But I'll get into that when I do a full review. And I'm out.